All right, today we are doing something a little different for you. My in-laws have this pretty nice Class A here, and during the storm and their last travels that they did, they tore off or messed up the antenna. So I've never done it before, but we're going to figure it out as we go. Get up there and take that thing off and replace it with a new one. I'll go inside here and get it and show you what it is we're going to be putting on, and then we'll get going. All right, let's see what they got in the box here. She has ordered some lap sealant from Dicor. This is the self-leveling stuff. And then we have got, looks like the plugs and mounting stuff. We'll see what we got in here. All right, straight from Amazon. Got this new antenna right here. I don't see any instructions or anything on this thing at all. Oh, I see. They're inside the baggie. You guys are sitting there laughing at me right now, aren't you? That's what I get for not looking before I film. All right, so what we have here is the Winegard Razor Z1. And it is a amplified local HD and digital broadcast TV antenna. So should give them all those HD channels when they're in the local spots, and hopefully it gets good reception for them. Let's get up top here and see what it is that we have to do. So one of the things you have to watch here is when you get up on this camper, first step is a doozy. So let's go. We'll get up here and I will show you what has happened to it. Got to duck down a little bit because I keep it under the shed, but at least it'll keep me in the shade today. So here is the existing antenna. It's an old school, and you can see the arm is dangling and stuff there. It's just not quite what it used to be. So we're going to take that bad boy off and replace it. You can also see you got a little tear in the cable right there. So let's get to it. So here's what I brought up here with me. I brought up the antenna. The instructions, though I probably won't look at them. The Dicor. The bag of extra parts. A caulk gun for the Dicor. My drill. And a scraper. Because the first thing we got to do is get all this old lap sealant off so that we can get to the screws and bolt this thing. Probably going to need more stuff, but we'll see what happens. Saw that, but sometimes the screws are stripped out and they don't want to come out. If you take and you put your scraper right next to the screw and push up against it as you're drilling, it gives it something to grab hold of and the screw will back out.
Everything you need?
Well, we'll find out. So far, so good. I just got to get all these screws out and then hopefully pry it off and go from there. Now I see what the problem is. And it looks like this actually goes through the roof. So I need to go down inside the camper itself and take something off in there. Let's see, I tend to just jump right into things. I rarely ever investigate like I should. I just figure it out as I go. I'm trying to find the keys here. All right, I found the keys, so let's get in here and see what's going on. So when you come inside the camper, now they take trips here in this camper typically for 3 months at a time. They'll leave 2 to 3 months at a time. So they keep it fully furnished and ready to go. So anytime they want, they can just leave. But right here is what we're looking for. And this is the crank to crank it up and down. So what I got to do is figure out how to get this little handle off. Looks like there's a pin or a screw in there right here, and then there's a spring that comes off, and then this should pop off, and there's a couple of screws underneath that. So let's see if I can figure this out. Okay, it's a small Allen key, so I gotta go see if I can find an Allen key. Luckily, RD, my father-in-law, he's got tons of tools here. I didn't bring much with me because I knew if I needed anything, he would have it. Got an Allen key set. Let's figure out which one it is. All right, now it should just come right out on the top. There we go, comes right out. I want to see if I can get this other part off too. I think I'm going to need to rerun that wire since this one's got that break in it. And a lot of sealing on that. Okay, I got lucky. So they just put a splice in between right here, so I won't have to rerun the wire all the way down in the camper. I can just plug it straight into this one, and that'll be that. All right, I just checked, make sure nobody was under me so I could drop it. Out with the old. In with the new. All right, about lost everything. So, before I can put the new one on, I gotta finish cleaning up all of this old sealant. I think I'll give this to RD and let him clean it up. All right, just to let y'all know, it's we're in Florida, and this is fall. It's October, and temperature today is about 80, which It's a pretty cool day for us here. If I was doing this in July, it'd be over 100 degrees up here, and humidity's like 100%. So if you notice, I'm sweating like crazy even at 80 degrees because of humidity, but it actually feels pretty good out here. This rotates from the inside, so it doesn't really matter which direction you put it, because it's when you get where you're going and you try to make your channels better, it's like those old antennas where you had to hold it and hope that you could find a way. This does the same thing. Once you get there, you rotate it, and when you rotate it, you'll get better reception. It looks like the way they designed this, there is a channel. Okay, so I have the choice. I could either just run this wire inside the hole and connect it inside, or I could run it on the top like they did and connect the wires inside here. I think I'm going to run it the way they did because I have to fill that hole anyway, so I might as well use that cap since it's there. They do give you an extension, so I can run this extension from here to the antenna, and that'll give me enough to make the distance. Let's mock it up and see how it's going to look. So we got a channel that this wire fits perfectly in, and I guess they've got it set up to where if you don't use the channel, it'll still be waterproof. So it looks like you've got to cut that little tab right there out to run it through. Probably a knockout. So just like that. Now this cable runs perfectly through. It'll sit nice and flat. I can run the Dicor all underneath it. It'll seal up nicely, and that'll be that. So hopefully there's enough space underneath here. I can just stuff the rest of the cord in. Yeah, I just gotta get that part from RD, and then we'll put it on. I'm gonna this part here, it goes from underneath. So that should be pretty easy to put on. It just fits in the hole. And then when you twist it, it twists this. So I'll take this down with me. I'll get that other piece and be back with you. Okay, we got this all cleaned up. I should be able to put the cable in it and run it across. So what happens is the cable comes out through this little notch, and then it's going to run around. I'll move this so you can see. It's going to run around and come here, and then this will fit in the trench and go right over the top of it, and this will be coming out. So you're going to have a little bit of exposed cable there. I'll just put some Dicor on it, and that'll be good. Also, you have an extension here that allows you to get this to go all the way through the roof. So this snaps into the bottom here, and then it goes down into the inside. But it's going to probably have to be cut to length. Good thing is I can just stick it up in from the bottom, and then I can get my measurement and cut it off and do what I got to do. So I can finish everything I got to do up here up top, get it all put in and ready to go. Then we'll go down bottom and we'll put the handle on and be good from there. So when this is placed on there and that's coming out of there, what I got to do is I got to go downstairs and take a look and make sure I can still feed my pipe up. I might have to trim this off a little bit and push the whole thing over to the right. We'll see. I'll take you down there with me. All right. So you got the hole here, and then let me show you. Yeah, I can see my wires there. But this pipe, as long as I can get it to go up and notch in, okay, so there. See, now when you twist this, it twists the antenna up top. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to cut it off, like right here, so that the bottom part will be able to fit on it. But at least I know my alignment works, so I'm happy with that. So first thing I want to do is I want to fill all these holes. Okay, now I got the holes filled. What I'm going to do, I've got my links and everything pretty close to where I want it. So already getting it on me. I'm going to put a bead around the screw holes, and I'll go right down the edge of it. Around the Alright, I gotta go down and get a 1/4 inch notch driver. Nut, 1/4 inch nut driver. Since I'm going down, I'll take you with me and show you RD's shop. Alright, you guys are about to enter the man cave. He's got his shop here, so he can do all the things he wants to do. See if I can find a nut driver in here. Alright, I've got the nut driver, so now we'll head back up top. Let's get her screwed down. When I screwed this in, the lap sealant squeezed out all the way around it, so it's got a good seal. I'm just going to make sure it's better. This is the self-leveling stuff, so all you really got to do is put it on, and then it'll level itself out. Alright, here's your final product from the top. That will level out after it sits for a little while, but now you have your rotating antenna. Alright, so now what we got to do is clean everything up and go down and put on the twister on the inside. I have these extra parts because I reused the existing cable on the inside. Hopefully I don't regret that, but we will see. You probably should wear gloves when you're doing this, because I do flooring and I'm working with caulk all the time and I'm really good with it, but I always get it all over me. So, you know, if you don't like getting stuff on your hands, use some gloves. have a guest appearance here. RD has showed up. Say hello to the camera, RD.
Hello.
So up here, now we got to put this piece on so you can rotate the antenna around. But the problem is, when you stick this in, yeah, I showed y'all earlier, this sticks out a little bit once it's there. So what I got to do is take a measurement and cut it off to length.
Need an hacksaw.
Yeah, hacksaw would be great. First I got to get it to actually go in the notch. There we go. So you feel it slide up in there, and then you know you've got it in. So I'm using my trusty dusty knife as a pin. Just cut a little notch in it, and then I can see where I need to cut it. Okay, I've got my hacksaw RD gave me, and I put my mark here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it about 1/4 inch short. Alright, sorry about that, guys. The last portion of the install video that I did when I installed this twist knob up here, had a big smudge on the screen. I'll play it forward for you in fast forward just so you can kind of see what went on, but it got blurred up. You can barely see it. Basically, what I had to do was, when I installed this portion up here, you had that little black tube that had notches in it that goes between here and the antenna upstairs. I had to cut a little bit of that off so it was recessed just slightly up into the ceiling. And then I just had to put these 3 screws on to hold this into place. It allows you to be able to, you push up on it and then you can twist it and then it drops back down, and it's like there's a little click. So each click rotates it a little each way. So that allows you to adjust your antenna to get better reception. Once I ran it and did the auto detect on the TV for channels, we were able to get 60 channels. So it seems to work really, really good. One thing I did skip on the initial install, you had this extra wire here, and what that's used for is if your camper doesn't currently have an antenna, you have to run a wire from there inside the camper to this switch. This switch allows you to be able to turn the antenna on and off with a little button. But this camper already had an antenna up there, and it already had a switch that powers it, and it's on the wall over there. And so before you scan your channels, you have to make sure you turn your antenna on so it's got power, and then you scan your channels. If you're not using it, you turn it back off so that way it's not powered all the time. But overall, pretty simple install. This wouldn't be that big a deal. I think the hardest part of this would be getting your cable inside the walls to where you want it at. You could always run it on the exterior and put a little box and mount this in the box. Might be a little easier, but then you'd see the cables and stuff. So I would say it's pretty straightforward and easy install. The antenna works really well. This video is not sponsored by anybody. She just bought the antenna off of Amazon, and seems to work pretty good.